The Static Keeper. Ilara's world had shrunk to the size of a television screen, filled with the gray, hissing snow of a dead channel. It was the only light in her grandfather's cabin, a flickering monolith in the oppressive darkness of the living room. The air smelled of pine needles, damp earth, and the faint metallic tang of old electronics. Her grandfather Silas was gone. The funeral had been a week ago, a quiet, rain-soaked affair in the town he'd spent the last 20 years avoiding. In his will, he'd left the remote mountain cabin and everything in it to Ilara, his only grandchild. The lawyer had handed her the heavy iron key with a look of profound pity. He was a peculiar man, especially toward the end, he'd said. The place is, well, you'll see. Peculiar was an understatement. The cabin was a tomb of silence and shadows, filled with relics of a life lived in isolation. But the most peculiar thing was the instruction, typed on a faded piece of paper and nailed to the door of the generator shed out back. The generator must run. The TV must stay on. Do not change the channel. Do not turn it off ever. Ilara had found the generator, a hulking, diesel-guzzling beast dutifully chugging away. And in the living room, the old cathode ray television, a massive wood-paneled thing from the 70s, was indeed on, blaring static to an empty room. It felt like a final mad request from a lonely old man. Her first instinct had been to turn the shrieking thing off. The noise was unbearable, a constant screeching hiss that felt like it was sanding down her nerves. But a superstitious dread had stayed her hand. It felt like turning it off would be disrespectful, a violation of a sacred trust. So she'd left it on. For a week she'd sorted through his things, the static a constant, maddening soundtrack to her grief. The noise seeped into her dreams, morphing into whispers she couldn't quite decipher. She was exhausted, her sleep fractured by the unending electronic scream. On the 8th night, a storm rolled in over the mountains. The wind howled like a bereaved animal, rattling the window panes and sending drafts whistling through the cabin's many cracks. The lights, fed,